We're on, George.
Welcome. What it is, what it do. What's going on, guys? G Money by night, George by day. This is the Locked In Podcast, episode 57. And I'm your gracious co-host, G-Mac, aka G Money or George M. And I got my one half of the podcast here, my partner in crime, Steve. What's up, Steve?
What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Glad to be here.
As I am with you, man, as me, you know. The one place on the beat is right here, right now. And tonight, guys, it's a very monumental episode. We have a very, very special guest in the building. We have our guy, my man, Hollis Tank Thomas, former Eagles player, former Saints player, and Panthers player. He's definitely an NFL guy, and he's a legend. What up, Thomas?
Hey, what's up, man? How you feeling? Hey, I also play for the Rams.
The Rams too. That's it. I'm sorry, I got the Rams. You know, I like the Rams. To be fair, man.
Well, no, it was just St. Louis. It was just a little experience in St. Louis, but because I grew up in St. Louis, and it totally sucks. But life is what you make it.
Absolutely, man.
We're glad to have you here,
man. You're a beast, man. We're glad to have you in the building tonight.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Absolutely.
And we appreciate you taking time of your kind of a busy schedule as you do your show and other things, you know, to come in and kind of like give us a little bit of insights and light as well, man. So we're very happy, and it's gonna be a great one, man. But before we go any farther, Steve, you know, take over so we can do the mini intro, and then I'll get back to the show.
Absolutely. So, guys, we're just gonna play a little brief intro for you guys as we do every week, then we'll hop right into the episode. All right, guys. Hope you guys like that little brief intro, and then just like a little bit of highlights of Hollis playing for the Eagles, defensive tackle. So like we said, we're just glad to have you here tonight, guys. And we're going to talk to Hollis a little bit about his time with the Philadelphia Eagles. We're going to talk a little bit about the Eagles today, too. We'll kind of end the show on that note.
Sports highlights. We'll talk about some moments and basically just about anything you guys would like, and whatever Hollis wants to talk about you and I, we'll kind of just combine and have fun with it, you know?
Okay.
We'll start with definitely, man. So Hollis, man, I was looking, right, man. Definitely a very good career, man. Legendary career. You played from like 96, and like she was saying, you went like undrafted all the way to 2000, about 2009, 2010. That's a great time to start, man. Because I mean, in the 90s was everything was kind of harder then. I mean, now it's still a lot of technique, a lot of good coaches and all that. But then it was like kind of like what separated the men from the boys. I mean, if you're good enough to play and stick with it, I mean, especially for a team like the Eagles or you know, even like the the Saints or Panthers and all that, and Rams. I mean, it was definitely something, you know, impressive, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's still, the game changed a lot actually, because they added a lot of they started trying to protect, or quote unquote trying to protect the players now. But you see a lot of guys who don't use the techniques and stuff. You also see a lot of injuries and stuff, and that's because the way that they're preparing for the game now is like. In the last collective bargaining agreement, they did some stuff to where they wanted to get the practice time down less. I was like, but by doing that, you pretty much put a watered down product out on the field, because the only way you get ready to play football is to practice football. So a lot of what we're seeing is guys either just coming in either out of shape, or a technique is not sound until like later on in the season, and it's kind of like it. And sometimes it's hard to watch, especially early on, because you see so many mistakes and so many like technical issues. And a lot of people don't realize that when you the defensive offensive line, you can't just come back. You just can't come back and just roll your helmet out there and start and pick up where you left off last year. You have to get back into the swing of it, and then hope that you still got it, and hope that it don't take that long for you to get it back. So and you used to hit the quarterback too, without the bitch asses that's going on now. So it's I've seen some penalties that is man. I've seen some egregious penalties, and then they often keep on. I don't want to even get into the conversation about they keep talking about what's the boy's name, Tom Brady being the GOAT. You can't be the GOAT with a cheating scandals attached to your name.
Yeah, and I know that you know. I know you know that well. I know you know that well because you played with the Eagles in that Super Bowl.
Let's go right there, right to it. Why not?
No, it's like the one thing that you can't be. You have to look at who's the GOAT. Who would you put as the GOAT? You can't put him there because he's not. There's no fear factor anymore. There's no fear factor coming across the middle. There's no fear factor in him getting his ass kicked. When you go back there, you pretty much have to lay the quarterback down and hope that he doesn't do anything. Hope that he doesn't do anything to get rid of the ball. It's like you got to look at Joe Montana. Just think if they had those rules with Joe Montana, or Dan Marino was in there, or Jim Kelly, or Warren Moon, records would be gone. They'd be out of this world. I was like, but you look at it, it's pretty much turned into flag football. They let you get some hits in. And they often they find the crap out of you on a lot of hits. And I was thinking to myself, man, I would probably only have like pennies on the dollar for all the fines I would probably receive from knocking the crap out of somebody. And but as far as the cheating, everybody doesn't know. They don't do it to that magnitude. And when I get keys just during the game, I don't tape anything. And then it'll be different if they didn't just get busted again, doing it to the Bengals the last year, then the year before last, then their offensive coordinator, that's why he got fired from Denver, because he kept taping other teams' walkthroughs when they was coming to Denver. So that's what you preach, and it's like you're not the GOAT. You didn't play the game the right way.
Nah, you had a little bit of help in many ways. It takes a lot of points from you being the GOAT. It takes a lot of points from being the GOAT, because I mean, if you've done some kind of scandal next to your name, it's like an asterisk now. Okay, are you the GOAT now, or you kind of like you were, but your people fool too, you know? And unfortunately, I mean, you know, we all know what happened with the Patriots and all that. And it's something I actually talked to Steve behind the scenes. Is like, you know, if you want to go there, we could go there with it, and I was okay with it, you know. So it's crazy, man. I mean, that 05 Super Bowl, man, that was I still have crazy flashbacks about that. I'm sure you probably think about it sometimes.
Well, you know the weirdest thing. I had put it out of my mind for a little bit, but then when I was doing the show with Josh Henderson on WIP, he would have got the actual investigation, the whole written investigation, and it detailed the depths of treachery in which they did in breaking the locker room, stealing playbooks, the recording and stuff, and setting stuff up. And it's still, if you ask Dawkins or anybody that was on that Super Bowl defense, that second half, it felt like they were in our huddle with us, and they knew exactly what we was doing. They knew just how to break it down and everything like that. It was like it's just all. And then when you can't be the GOAT, and like you don't want all your Super Bowls you won by 3 points or less.
Exactly.
So that means that your defense, those defenses were the GOATs because you have the answers on offense.
God.
Exactly.
Answers to the test. So
you might be able to answer this one. I've always heard like Jim Johnson had like a special scheme for that Super Bowl, and it just kind of felt like I forget who told me that. And then like the way that they had set it up, it just felt like they knew everything that was going on. Like his scheme, it was a special scheme for the Super Bowl, and it just seemed like they knew everything.
Well, yeah, it was a special scheme because it was not so much special. It had been in the playbook, but he set up a special way to devise to stop them and shut them down for what they was doing. And you saw it worked in the first half. Now in the second half, they went and it just seemed like every time we made a call, they had the answer to it at the second half. And it was just like, come on. And if you just going out there to adjust, because you don't know. The thing was, the scheme was we gave the same look all the time, but it's only one way you know when we coming, and then it's like something we weren't coming all the time. It just seemed like they were just right there in our huddle, and everybody keeps talking about it didn't matter. So why is there a microphone in the defensive players' helmet now?
You see,
exactly.
I always wondered that, man. Yeah, it's a very good point, man. I remember that too. I remember the second half you're talking about. It's like we could have. You guys probably still could have won them, man. But it's just like when they know every play, man. It's like, it's not. Now you're playing a good team against not fair. Fair versus not fair. If it's not fair, there's no.
And it's like if you go mano a mano, it's like whoever perseveres is going to win. But if you have a slight edge that we don't know about, that is illegal,
right?
Then it's like then you feel if they blew us out the water like when Indianapolis found out about them deflating the balls, if they blew us out like 45-0 like they did in Indianapolis, yes, I would concede. Yes, you won. You won by 3 points.
Exactly.
You won the other Super Bowls. You won by 3 points or less. You're not a GOAT. You got a bunch of rings. I commend you on that. I feel like you're really good, but you'll never be the greatest because before rest his soul, Don Shula calls Bill Belichick Bill Belichick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I always compare that to people too. I'm like, well, the Deflategate, the Colts got blown out, but I was like, but the Eagles, that was only a 3-point game. They won by field goal.
What about Carolina?
Yeah,
what about
Carolina,
the Rams?
Field goal.
Yeah, what about the Rams? What about the other people that only beat by three points?
The only team they blew up wasn't it Atlanta, right? They beat Atlanta pretty easily. Like
came back on Atlanta.
Yeah, he came back on Atlanta. So I always give Brady props for that Super Bowl because I was like,
I give him props, but I don't know why Kyle Shanahan is still working.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like you're up 28-3. You continue to throw the ball in the second half. That's why I always talk about always talk about. Phil, you need this. Phil, you need to run the ball. This game will never change. You need to be able to stop the run and run the ball. Because once you get that big lead, the rules of engagement are not going to always be in your favor when you pass the ball. But if you got a running back that can churn out to get you first down after first down and demoralize that defense, and you keep that defense off balance, the passes that you want to still be there. It's like, but the clock will still keep moving, and you would not give the other team a chance to get back in the game. If you give them 1 ounce of hope, that's all they need to come back is 1 ounce of hope. As soon as they stop you one time and they come out and they score something, that's your ass, Mr. Postman.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, that I was so confused by like Shanahan not running the ball. I was like, what is going on? Like, you guys are up with a 28-3 lead. You're not running the ball. It's throwing the ball.
If you look at that one sequence where they had a chance to ice the game, you come out, you get a holding penalty. Then you come out and then you get sacks. Then you come out, you get a few yards, but then you get another holding penalty. But you're still in field goal range, but you drop back to throw another pass, sack, forced fumble, defensive touchdown. What are you doing? And that's why a lot of people don't know. That's why Brian Cox got fired. Brian Cox was a defensive line coach. He wanted to kick Kyle Shanahan's ass.
That's just crazy.
Insight. I told you, Steve, a lot of insights, man. A lot of people got upset, man. It's the game, that makes everything, go well, man. I mean, football is the most important. Than
but no, but I know, but the football is not that complicated. A lot of people try to make it complicated. They think they're the tallest midget at the party. It's like they think they're a dwarf among midgets. It's not going to change. Once you get the lead, if you got a quality defense, you keep your defense on the sideline. You don't go out there and throw 3 fucking passes, and it's like you throw 3 passes and the defense is right back on the field. Sooner or later, both teams are getting paid. Sooner or later, remember I said just this much hope, not just this much hope, and you give them some confidence, and they're gonna start kicking your ass, and you're gonna be in a fight that you should not even be in. You're supposed to demoralize the team. You're supposed to put your foot on their neck and go for the jugular vein. And once you get it, you squeeze it until they stop breathing. If you don't, then you're gonna be in a fight every time. All that passing stuff is cool and it look great, but if you're knocking the crap out of, tell me this: if I'm a defensive lineman and they kicking my ass on the run, I'm not worried about a pass. I'm just worried about what they're gonna do to me next.
Right.
But if I know you back there passing all the time, and there's no wear and tear on my body, all we gotta do is keep rotating. Sooner or later, we're gonna get you off the field, get you off the field quick. So I get you off quick, 3 and out. Sooner or later, you're gonna throw a pick. Sooner or later, somebody's gonna tip a ball, and we're gonna get some turnovers. But if you run the ball and you run it down our throat, and we on our heels, it makes for a great recipe for a victory. Chicks dig scars, and nobody wants to spoon with a loser.
You're right, absolutely.
Exactly, man.
You done the marker for that one, bro.
Yes, sir. But yeah. Facts.
Yes, sir.
But no, that's kind of like the state of the, like, we'll get into this eventually too, guys, but the state of the Eagles, like, with the start this season, they weren't running the ball like at all. It was like super pass happy, and teams were starting to figure it out. They're like, yeah, they're not running this ball at all. Like, they know that they're going to put Hurts in the option. They know Hurts is going to be back there trying to throw the ball, or run with his legs. But it's just like you have to run the ball. You have to have a mixed up scheme and be able to put the defense on their heels.
Well, and then to piggyback on what you were just saying, I was saying that they was doing it because they were trying to get rid of Miles, because Miles don't know how to take one step, take one cut, and go get downfield, because he's always running east and west. I keep telling people he can hit the home run. This ain't college, and this is not high school. If you run the east and west, we're gonna be on that ass like nobody. Like, you're gonna get a tackle for a loss, so then you're behind on the chains, and now you have to pass. So if you notice, as soon as he got hurt, what they started doing, run the ball with guys who hit the hole. The hole. If you look at when Deuce was here, they had Miles. You'll see Deuce doing this every time. Tell them to hit it up in there. Take what they give you. The big runs will come after you demoralize them, after you get them on their heels. We can't get them on their heels if you're going east and west, because all they're gonna do is give up great pursuit. Give up great pursuit, and if you cut it back, they're gonna knock the shit out of you, or you're just gonna run out of bounds. Like, case in point, when we had the game. Remember we had the game one. We had the game one. They trying to run the ball. He ran out of bounds twice.
Yeah. And
I'm like, dude. And that's what. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was saying they pulled him in one of the games towards the end.
Exactly.
Carolina. Exactly. Carolina. Yeah, they were like, "What are you doing?" We were trying to do was, I think we
run
were
out
like,
the clock. I was down in Carolina.
Run out the clock, and then Miles Sanders is going out of bounds twice, and they're like, I remember, like, the coaches came over to him. They're like, "All right, we got to get him off the field." It's like, "What are you doing?"
And that's what I was telling people. I've been telling people since the beginning of the season. They're trying to get him. They're trying to prove that he's not team worthy. It's not me. It's team. It's team. You do what it takes to do what. If you don't do what within the scheme, you have to know what you have to supposed to do in the scheme. If one person is doing what they want to do, then we're gonna get our ass kicked, and we're gonna look bad. If we got pretty much the same offensive line, and now all of a sudden we run the ball with some authority. You want to know why? Because we run it at people instead of away from people.
With confidence and authority and going through. You got to house them a little, knock them down. Don't let them push against the outside line, that, or, you know what I mean? Try
The one thing, George, one thing, George, is when you run those plays, the plays they're running them at people. But the way that Miles runs, he runs sideways and he's looking to cut up and looking to run around stuff. You have to go through, you have to hit it up in there. If you don't hit it up in
penetrate it, right? Exactly. Yeah. Wow, good analogy, Hollis. Definitely. See, like Steve was saying, like I noticed it too, man, with Miles, and I'm like, the first game's a little different, and we kind of picked it up a little. The last game that we lost by 3 points, right? That was a close one. I got to the club late, so I didn't get to see it, but I heard about that one. I was on the way to work, but
you talking about the Chargers game?
Yeah, Chargers game. Yep.
Well, Chargers game, I don't like our defensive play calling.
Gannon.
It's like if you let a quarterback stand back there, he gonna carve you up like a Thanksgiving turkey.
Just playing zone all game.
It's plain and simple all game long. And plus we have guys who are after sacks instead of making plays. So when they run the ball, they will get you off balance, get the sack masters tired. Once they get the sack masters tired and they're just laying there, then they're gonna pass. And no DB can cover no receiver for 5 or 6 seconds.
Exactly, and Herbert's a good quarterback. He's young. He's good though, and that's the thing. Like
32 or 38, Steve. 32 or 38.
That's just wild.
Every quarterback has been 80% between 75 and 80% passing completion. It's been 5 quarterbacks. We only had 6 in the total history of the Eagles up until that point. It's been 5 this year.
The Derek Carr game against the Raiders was atrocious. He completed, he completed like 90%. Like he only missed like one. I think it was like 2 or 3 throws. He missed the entire game.
And you know when he missed those 2 or 3 throws, Steve, he missed those 2 or 3 throws at the beginning of the game. And then what did we do on 3rd down? We took a holding penalty. The punt team was coming on the field. As soon as we took that holding penalty, go back and look. He went on a tear. Because he hit a 30-yard bomb and he didn't miss a single pass after that. I was like, dude, what?
It's like
some of the decisions we could chalk them up to being a first-time coach and stuff and being young. But I do like the fact that they've been getting better these last few games since they started running the ball.
Correct.
It seems like I'm being a stress-free Eagles fan now, right? Because you like they come out that because when they came out. Even in the Raiders game, their first drive, I was like, they came from under the center, hand off the ball. What is this? Whatever do you mean? Where did this offense come from? So it's like once they started doing that, it's refreshing to see that. Now all we have to do is get Jonathan Gannon to be more aggressive. Quit turning over and letting everybody have some.
Yeah,
it's like somebody has some. He's like he's been but don't break it. It's like we up there giving up the rhythm. It's like, but
go ahead. I was saying there's not a lot of man coverage. There's like a lot of zone. So I'm like, he played zone coverage against Herbert. That's a mistake.
Yeah, it's too.
Don't do no zone coverage. He's got to.
Yeah, it's too shallow. You can't. And then you're not doing anything up front. So the guys, as a defender, you get bored with lined up stripe to stripe and fighting to do it all game long without any. It's kind of like playing a video game and you walking along, and when you walk along, you get a gun. You get tired of that gun, you get another gun. You get some money. You go get a weapon. It's kind of like that. And during the game, the first thing you do, you line up stripe to stripe. You see what he got, you see what you got, and then y'all going because you watch film. It's like, but at some point, I need something in my holster. I need a slant or something, or some type of blitz to where I can free myself up and I can go get buck wild and do some backfield blue loving. But it's like in this scheme, it doesn't seem like it's any of that anything creative. I think
that they're a little predictable. I'm not gonna lie, you're right about that. Not as creative. Maybe I do like the last few games, and I'm basing it on that. Obviously blew out the Lions, and we had some some wins between the first game of the season, but we also beat some weaker teams. But we are growing, but is it enough though? As long as the playoffs, man, I'll be okay with that. Hopefully, not thinking too much ahead, but we have a big game coming up too. So
we still have a shot at the playoffs. Kind of crazy as it sounds. We do. We're only like one game out.
Don't do the pipe dream for yourself.
Yeah, no.
Let's just ride it. This is what we need to do as fans. We need to tether it down. Don't set the bar so fucking high. It's
Exactly.
It's like each week. Let's hope we kick this team that we about to play as. And then it's like as things come closer, then we can get our hopes up. Because getting your hopes up now, the first thing somebody gonna say if we lose Sunday is, I knew that they just sucked me back in. No, nobody did. It's like we told you what they were doing. So right. I set the bar pretty low. So if something good happens, great. If it goes well, awesome. But then I'm not totally disappointed at the end of the game and ready to kick somebody's ass.
Exactly. I had them at like 5 or 6 wins this year. So I'm like, they're already at 4. I'm like, but hey, if you make the playoffs, you somehow get in or whatever. Hey, cool. Like there was.
I had them at 7 or 8 wins because I felt like because I knew the Nick Sirianni play calling from when he was in San Diego and when he was in Indianapolis. It's what it is now. This is him now. I think that other stuff was the powers that be from upstairs. But it's like they try to protect the quarterback, but in protecting the quarterback, you run the ball and then you make timely throws. It is never going to change, especially when you have a young guy. And it's like some people say you run the ball to protect your quarterback. No, you run the ball to try to win the game. You run the ball to keep the defense off balance. Because every time we was doing play action fake, I was like, you just giving the D lineman an extra second or two to get to your quarterback because we know you're not going to run that ball. So right. I'm happy with what's going on right now, and it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to integrate Miles Sanders back into the mix, especially with the other 2 guys doing as well as they are.
True. Yeah, I saw he tweeted something like he said he's back or whatever. So I'm interested to see how it works. I think Miles Sanders, kind of like you said, he can hit the home run ball, but he likes to run east-west. And the other issue that Miles Sanders has sometimes is fumbling the football. That's
he puts it on the ground a lot. And we haven't developed a defense to where we a ball hogging defense. That one game it's been a couple of games where Jonathan Gannon got real aggressive and we had some we got 2 DBs that could be ball hawks. If we apply pressure busts pipes. If you cut the head off a snake, can the rest of the body survive?
Yep.
You hit the quarterback, have him have that clock in his head, where even if you're not blitzing, he's throwing the ball and looking back. He's looking to see if he's gonna get hit.
You don't realize
he's second guessing himself a little. He thinks himself open. Yeah, you got to be more confident. Pressure, like Hollis just said, pressure busts pipes, and we have played well with pressure, but we're just getting back to that group of things. It seems like again, it's nice and smooth. Wes, what were you saying, bro? I didn't mean to cut you off. Say again.
I was saying as good as the Eagles were in the Super Bowl on the offensive side, what did it come down to at the end? Right, it came down to Brandon Graham making a play on a quarterback. It came down to Brandon Graham getting a strip sack. That was the game changer because if Brady has that time to go down the field, who knows what happens? Who knows what happens? So it's like it's kind of that's the one thing too. Is like when you think of that Super Bowl was a microcosm of what a team should be. It's like sometimes sometimes the media try to separate you. About, well, offense is doing great and defense is sucking, or defense is doing great and offense is sucking, and that's why they try to add this separation to you, but you both stick together because sometimes the defense is going to be on and the offense ain't going to be on. Sometimes offense is going to be on and the defense ain't going to be on, and one of you that's what teams do. We pull each other's ass out the fire. Exactly. And that's how it is. Yeah, one side's carrying the other. Yep.
What the team is all about.
The Northern Illinois game was just it's for the MAC Nation MAC title.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they lead the MAC West right now. They 7-3. My Northern Illinois Huskies.
Cool.
They're gonna play Buffalo though.
And that's your alma mater, right?
Northern Illinois Huskies, yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's his alma mater. It's about to come on. Oh yeah, we 7-3, 5-1 conference. I think if we win this one, we win it.
Cool. Big game, then. Big game.
I like watching the stuff because actually the funny thing is one of my young bucks is the head coach. Mike is Michael Stokely. I was like, he was a running back, but when you just look at TV, you were like, he was a running back. He's big as me now.
Wow.
I was looking. I was like, "That's Mike."
Mike.
It's kind of like going back to your high school reunion.
You're like,
You like, yeah, I'm gonna lose 10 pounds. Then you get back to high school reunion, and you see that one chick who used to be about 130 pounds, real sexy and tender. Now she's 230 pounds.
You're like, oh. Exactly. I know what you're saying. I know how this trying to say. It's always like that. Like your crush.
Not yet, but then you ask everybody out loud like, "Hey, yo, where's Keisha at?" Everybody look at you, and she's right behind you, and you like, "Damn!"
You're like, "Whoa, that's Keisha."
Keisha.
Wow. I walk right by.
You don't know Keisha.
It's like,
she's like, "What you want to do?" Nothing now. You want to go to the snack bar? No, but
snack bar. At this point. It's called a lot of mileage and years of, your crush now. It's like, okay, we're cool now. We're just about it. Not my crush anymore. 20 years ago, you're my crush, so now you're a little, not as sexy, but you're still cool.
No boss.
So I know we were just talking about the 2018 Super Bowl and everything,
right.
But man, just to go back, and I know you probably get this question a lot, even though you were on the defensive side, on the offensive side, that Super Bowl year. Mm-hmm. Man, what was your experience and your take, the McNabb and the Terrell Owens feud, man? Because I just thought, man, the team that we could have had for all those years, like I get why T.O. kind of did what he did, but man, like I thought both guys just, they didn't.
It wasn't
reconcile.
No, I was gonna tell you, it wasn't really their fault. It was their fault, but. The powers that the people upstairs told T.O. that they was going to do something with his contract because they had a backloaded contract and they were known to get rid of players as they get up in age, and they said they were going to do something after the season, and so they didn't do it. And he asked Donovan to go say something because he was the golden boy at the time,
right?
And so Donovan said, "I don't get into other people's contract situations or business." Then Donovan was Donovan was on television talking about they need to pay Westbrook.
So you go to bat for him, but you won't go to bat for T.O.
Yeah, you won't go back for me, so that's how T.O. felt. So that's what T.O. started kind of picking on him. And him picking. It was an offensive thing. It's like I tend to crack up because they tried to keep everything quiet and hush hush. But then when they didn't pay him, T.O. was they've done this in the past to a lot of people, the Eagles and the powers that be. That's why I call them the powers that be, because they've done this shiesty business work a lot of times. And some people, you're gonna get to somebody who's a big enough star to tell you to go fuck yourself, and that's what they got with T.O. T.O. is a big enough star to have the numbers to be a Hall of Famer and stuff, and which he is in the Hall of Fame now. And he told I was happy. A lot of people was mad at him for not going to the Hall of Fame, but I was letting them know that to let the Hall of Fame know, fuck y'all. If I'm a Hall of Famer at one point, I'm a Hall of Famer when I'm available, when I'm first able to do it. It's like it's not about you going in there and doing all this politicking and shit. It's like, no, if you're a Hall of Famer, you're a Hall of Famer. It's not the Hall of Fame of the very good. It's the Hall of Fame of the greatest. So, but back to the T.O. thing. Well, they poked the bear, and he just went off. And you just watched it unfold, and I was like, oh shit, we ain't gonna be. I said next season gonna be bad, all bad.
Yep,
exactly. Then they finally got rid of him, and then it was just like he got paid to stay at home, and it was like everybody thought that it was size. I didn't give a fuck because you fucked up the team chemistry. That just fucked up a year of my life. That's what I feel like. They fucked up a year of my life. That I can't get back. Watching you two bitches argue. You fucked up the city getting the first title, and it just pissed me off to no end. It was like, but you do your work. I do as they were trying to trade me, so it was like that was the first at that point. That was the first time I did not want to be an Eagle. That was the first at that point, and then but then it was like. Then I did because I didn't want to be traded because I love the city and I didn't know anything else. And I know the grass is not always green. The grass may be green on the other side, but it's because it's fertilized with shit. So,
good analogy.
and just going through that whole thing. I still feel like both of those guys held the city because Donovan did throw up in the Super Bowl. I feel like they owe the city a debt of gratitude. Not even just gratitude, but an apology or something for fucking up 3 to 4 years of some of our life. Just fucking us off on ring and title stuff because you two bitches can't get along.
That's how how I saw it too. I was like, not only are you being disrespectful to the team, you're being disrespectful to the city. I was like, obviously, guys like you, the guys who were coming in every day, putting in the work. It's like, and then to have that type of drama behind the scenes, just like over such petty shit. It's like, man,
it's some bullshit.
They should have been embarrassed about themselves. I was like, come on. And then for the front office to think that shit was going to continue to roll like that, it's like it's been so many, and not even stories. There's been so many players that wanted to kick Andy's and Joe Banner's ass.
Oh yeah,
it's like you don't bend and grin at somebody's face and go kind of like this. You remember when Jerry Macklin was in Kansas City?
Yep.
And Big Red went to his wedding and then released him that next week.
Yeah.
Yep. Shit like that. A shit like that. That's like, yeah, come on, dude. I was like, so that's why I was like, I never forgave him. I told him I don't wish him no ill will, but fuck him.
Exactly.
And that's just how I feel. It's like this is how I feel. It's like some people like him because I understand it like on the outside because of the era in which he gave football, but behind the scenes, it's like that behind the scenes shit. You can't even begin to fathom the bullshit that we put up with.
Yeah, so. You can just imagine, man. And stay on this topic for a second, man. Obviously, success with drama. I mean, two guys that are two of the top guys, not just in the East Coast football and the East Conference, but in the NFL, not to get on the team. Happens often. It should never happen. It's a bunch of bullshit. Fuck all that. That's just how I feel. You told me the other day, like a couple before the podcast, like a few weeks ago, that something about during the tunnel, like when the teams are coming out, that McNabb told T.O. to shut the fuck up, and that's.
Oh, you talking about when he told it? That was in the huddle.
The huddle, yep.
That was in the huddle doing the Giants.
Oh, jeez.
When we won the we clinched the NFC East up in the Meadowlands. He was saying, apparently T.O. was like, I'm open. He said, man, shut the fuck up and get back in the huddle. So everybody else is slapping high fives and putting on t-shirts. And so on the defense side, so all of a sudden we started hearing some rustling. Some rustle around. And apparently they was keeping T.O. away from Donovan. Because you gotta when you tell a man to shut the fuck up, you gonna come see me.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, man, get in the huddle and shut the fuck up. Like, wow.
That's a big word. That's fighting words.
Yeah, you tell a grown man that.
It's like you say that to me, you better be looking for some unlicensed dentistry because I'm about to go up in your mouth.
Exactly, man. At that level, like I said, you shouldn't be there. So you guys seen everything. I can understand why you feel that kind of way, man. And I know there's guys that come up. Yeah, well, T.O. is a great guy, great player. Well, he was. Unfortunately, he also fucked up. Although I like him as a player, and we kind of grew up watching him a little, but he screwed up. And so if you feel like kind of like they cheated you, kind of like a year of your life in a way, and because you could have, you should have won a Super Bowl. You would have been a Super Bowl winner. So it's unfair, man. And I mean, and obviously Steve knows this very well. He's a little younger than me, but he clearly remembers the Super Bowl well. I remember that the city was just no one could sleep after the day after, man. I mean, the disappointment was so big. It was just
the disappointment was big. But then a lot of people don't know that Fire was out partying the night before the game.
Yep. Throwing up the next day. Exactly.
So every time, if you notice, every time we went to Florida, the state of Florida, he threw up. He threw up in Jacksonville. He threw up in Jacksonville. Threw up in Tampa Bay. Threw up in Miami. And so every time you go down there, I guess Florida was his kryptonite.
He must have liked partying a lot.
Play for Miami.
I always wondered that, though. I always wondered how he would have done somewhere else, but he played with us for a long time because he actually came 2 years after you, I believe, 98, McNabb, right? McNabb. And I always wanted to get
McNabb got drafted in 99.
99. There we go. Thank you for correcting me. 99. So I always remember, because Theo came later, I wonder if they really get along on how, because it didn't seem like they really ever really saw eye to eye, and I guess the beef.
Well, when Theo first got here, they got along well.
Oh yeah, they were
buddies. It was like my buddy and me like to climb up a tree. My buddy and me were the best friends that could be.
I remember McNabb's first pass to T.O. It was like an 80-yard bomb. It was like
preseason versus the Steelers.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Dude, first pass to T.O. is an 80-yard bomb down the field for a touchdown.
And I was like, and then you know what the thing was is when we that I was cracking up because somebody we were talking about, the Rams got their ass whipped on Monday Night Football. And, because they talk about because one of them tweeted out from the Rams is like, let's chase this ring, and I was like the season ain't even halfway over. I was like, you just set yourself up for ass whooping after ass whooping week after week. And as soon as I said that on Monday night, all of a sudden 14-0 in the first quarter, run the ball down their throat. It's like but what I was getting at was I think that year we knew we was gonna go to the Super Bowl, but we didn't say anything. We just was happy to have some offense and somebody who could get open and that type of offensive weapon. And then it was just like the rest of everything else just fell into place. But we wasn't like walking around talking about, we're going to the Super Bowl, we're going to Super Bowl. We didn't do that. You never give anybody bulletin board material to get in your ass like that.
Exactly.
You got a target. You pretty much putting a target on your head. That's all you're doing.
As you saw the way San Francisco went out there and dug in that ass. I was like, wow.
Exactly. All those teams that do that, where they stack the team like that and everything, it never winds up like being like they never win a Super Bowl. Like Kansas City had a lot of weapons, but like I'm just saying, like most teams, like you saw just how like all year last year the Buccaneers defense was okay, but in the Super Bowl they showed up. Like it's never the team.
Well, no, but see the thing with the Buccaneers defense though. There was one key part missing, and that's the key part that we're still missing our defense, a stud middle linebacker. When their middle linebacker got hurt, he came back for the playoffs. And in the playoffs, he showed out. He showed up and he showed out. And he still shows up and he shows out. But if you don't have that middle linebacker, we got a good defensive line, that probably could be a great defensive line if we had some exotic blitzes coming. And then because it will free guys up and put them on the edge. I don't want my defensive lineman running straight down the middle of a guy trying to pass rush all day. Put him on his edge and then put him on his edge. Get him upfield. Get some rush lane integrity. But when you do that, nah, it don't work.
Exactly. It just seems like the Eagles don't even value linebackers. Like they never draft linebackers. They just don't value the position enough, and they need to start. We have a lot of great things coming next year, so.
Yeah, the funniest thing is like what you said about stacking the team. It's only one place that I knew that stacked the team and they still won. It was San Francisco. They used to get like great defenders, like San Francisco they would stack the defense, especially defensive lines, defensive ends, and they would rotate because all you're doing is rotate. Because especially if you're ahead of the game, the other team is going to be passing all game. You're going to have to rotate the defensive lineman every 3 or 4 plays. And if you got a great rotation with some people that don't have to play as much as they used to, they're gonna be fighting for sacks.
Wow, good insights. That's true, man. Because he always about the team. Like again, we didn't have enough rotations because, like, especially with defensive linemen and all that, linebackers. I mean, like I said, man, a lot of mistakes were done throughout the Eagles. Since the time you were in '96 to about now. But the thing is, I know you're happy watching them win in 2018, and I feel like a little bit of revenge, beating again, Brady's team and all that. Although you didn't play the Super Bowl,
I was elated when that happened. I was so fucking happy. I was like, because then I was, during the parade, I was like, somebody's like, you want to go down there? I was like, nah, that's some guy's time. I'm just happy that they beat the motherfuckers that cheated us.
It wouldn't have felt the same if Jacksonville went there. That's why I said I wanted New England. I was like, we need to get our revenge on them.
Yeah, and the other part was, remember, it was like it's kind of like, do you remember when Larry Holmes beat up Muhammad Ali?
Yeah, and Mike Tyson told them that I'll get him back.
Yeah, Mike Tyson told him he was gonna get him back for him.
And then 10 years later, he got it back.
Yeah, he went over there and beat the shit out of Leon Spinks.
Larry Holmes and Ali was there. I remember, kind of smiled, and he told him that Tyson at the time wasn't really fighting. He was actually beginning. He was probably younger. He debuted at 4 years later, 85, and then he beat the shit out of Larry Holmes eventually.
Yeah, he was 14.
14, yeah.
And he talked to him on the phone.
Good story, man. Definitely good story, Hollis. Yeah, man. See, very good comparison, analogy. like you said, man, they beat Atlanta 2017. All the respect to the Falcons, they were a much better team then, but they choked a little. They fucked up, and props to Brady came back. And then 2018, it was just our time. I mean, that was as perfect as the team gets. The Eagles just really put it all together, man. Without getting into the whole quarterback situation. In my opinion, they're both good quarterbacks. But I mean, went to this thing, and then Foles, carried us to the very last game, and a couple games prior to that.
Well,
the
Wentz,
Vikings game was good too.
I'm cool with Wentz, but it's like I don't like the way he bitched up and did. It was too much about him and not about the team. So
yeah. I was gonna say I was gonna ask you. I was like, what's your take on Wentz? I felt like
I would have kept Nick, because everybody's talking about what Nick is like. When he leave here, he don't play good, but when he here, he plays great. I was like, it's every time he's here, he wins. That's all. It seems like the team plays better with him, and it's just the way it is. It's kind of like last year when they finally started Jalen Hurts. I was like, you might as well, because we have our quarterback leads the league in turnovers. Period. He leads the league in fumbles and throwing picks. Now fumbles, you can say because he's getting hit, he's not getting protected. But when you lead the league in throwing picks, that's you're guiding the ball. That's a stat that you alone control. So he's still doing it to this day.
Exactly.
I saw him throw 2 picks in a game 2 weeks ago against somebody. I was like, dude, it was like four opposing teammates. 4 opposing team of people from the opposing team around his receiver. What the hell was you think? What the hell did you think was going to happen over there?
What the fuck were you thinking, buddy?
I remember the one. I forget which one it was, but Wentz was in the end zone. He was
and he was getting sacked, and so you give up 6 instead of just 2, huh?
He threw with like his offhand, which he doesn't even use it. It's not like, who do you think you are, Patrick Mahomes, where you can switch hands? He tried to switch.
You're not Mahomes, buddy. Right?
Yeah.
Rodgers and Mahomes, huh? Well, here's the thing, though, and Hollis, and remember, Steve. Just to add on, just say real quick to kind of like add on to that, he wasn't getting blocked, and Steve instead of steal it, because a lot of guys were injured and all that. So okay, the blocking, maybe the people weren't defending him and protecting him enough, but with the fumbles and he completes just bad passes, just some bad choices. I mean, he also the responsibility falls down to Wentz too. And I guess he didn't really want to stay. I guess at the end, Carson Wentz liked the city, but he probably liked better adventures, and he ended up just leaving. I'm just surprised that he didn't lose his spot to Foles when the Super Bowl was won. He kind of got the spot back the following season, and that's I guess as everybody starts saying that the team got better chemistry with Nick.
Well, he can't. Well, first of all, when I was happy when Wentz came back.
Right,
and then when he came back, you could tell something was wrong, and he withheld that his back was broke from the team, and he's out there trying to play with a broke back. So you hindering the team, one, and then you start throwing picks, and then you start playing like real shitty, and then now you let them know that your back is messed up, and then Nick Foles comes in and does what he did, takes us to the playoffs, and it's just like, well, shit. It's like, and then it comes down to, do I get rid of Nick Foles, or do I ride his arm until he's old and gone? It's like, because he could do what we need him to do, and
they traded him though.
Yeah, and who knows if Alshon Jeffrey doesn't drop that ball against the Saints, man, we might have been going back to another Super Bowl because we would have played the Rams next week.
It would have been so close.
We had Jared Goff's never beaten us, man. We always have Goff's in the Rams number, so who knows, man?
Kind of. In the past, it's good to talk about this stuff because I think again, it's a change of faith. Like Hollis will tell you, there's so much things, so many games in the years. We're down to small things. We won games, lost games, and again, small passes, kind of killed us. And then 2 years ago when we played remember Steve, we played Mike Mallett's team, the Eagles Green Bay, and remember that we actually beat them. But that season, it was just 2 years ago. It wasn't really our best season, but we also lost a lot of players from a Super Bowl team because people started leaving a little afterwards.
And then Hollis got to play with one of the he played with a good defense. But I also want to say, like, those guys also had the privilege of playing with you, though, too.
So
the other way around. Of course, he played with
you got experience.
I was happy I was fortunate to play with a good defense, and it was funny because it's like we just at a certain point in our career, because we all came in kind of together, and we just expected at a certain point we just expected to be good. We expected to kick ass. It's like that's the part I love that I miss. It's I'm coming Sunday because I know I'm coming to kick somebody's ass.
Hell yeah, man! It was such a beast defense. You had yourself, Jeremiah Trotter, Brian Dawkins, Bobby Taylor, Troy Vincent, like leadership. Like it's crazy, man.
Hugh Douglas, Corey Simon, Carlos Emmons, James Darlin, Mike Caldwell. Who else? We had Damian Moore, dog. It was a man.
Beast,
man. Paul Grass, the ill bitch of Paul Grass, Managed Violent Grass, Truck Drive, Sam Rayburn.
Dave Thrash was there. Icon.
JT Thrash was on the offense.
Yeah, James Thrash. Yeah, he was on the offense. Yeah, and who else?
Jim Johnson used to call him James Trash.
Yeah. I mean, he was a good player. Dawkins. No, you had a great at the time. It was a good defense though, but the whole team was a good team though. I feel like throughout those years. About 02 to about like 06, 07, it was like there was some good years for us. And again, I mean, could have won a couple Super Bowls in those years, but of course, the closest was 05. Which
I heard Jim Johnson doesn't like to be called Jimmy Johnson, just Jim Johnson.
Yeah, he doesn't. Just Jim Johnson. It's Jim, not Jimmy, not JJ. Jim.
Rest in peace, man. Yeah, no, this is like one of the greatest defensive minds of all time. Such a great defensive mind, man. Wow.
Yep.
You got to play with some. So, let me ask you this, Hollis. Is there ever like a moment, like you say, like in your career where you're like, that's like a moment I'm sure people have asked you before, but you'll always remember. I know a lot of people always remember the hit on Michael Vick was a big one, man.
Yeah, the Michael Vick
against the Falcons. And I think there was like a game against Dallas, man, where you had like, what was it, like 10, 11 tackles in a game?
Yeah, it was that was what with the Birds is the hit on the Vic, and then it's it's the first playoff game I ever played my rookie year when I was going up against Jesse Saleh-Apua, who was coming off heart surgery, and I was kicking his ass. We lost, but it was like I'm 21 years old. We in Candlestick Park, and Jeffrey Osborne singing the national anthem. I'm fresh out of college and stuff, and you see all the stars in the stands and stuff. You're like, wow. And then the hit on Vic, and then the kickoff on the Super Bowl. That was like one of the best moments, because you see all those flash bulbs. It's something that you'll never see again, because most people have camera phones now. So they don't have the cameras anymore. So it's like if you ever get a chance to see the kickoff and you get the chance to pan to the audience, it's like
exactly.
Right, wow. Like all the way around.
Oh yeah. Damn. Because that was in 05, so iPhones come out around 07. So yeah, you're right. They're a little older phone. They know like in big games, like World Series, in the World Cup final in soccer, you see like the lights and all that. If you see the audience, the same. I mean, Will Smith was there 3 years ago in Russia for the. It's always a big star.
And the other moment was the first NFL game, RFK Stadium, when we was scored 7 Eagles. We ended up winning 17-14, but in the fourth quarter, the Redskins had the ball. Well, the football team had the ball. And you could see the crowd was cheering so loud that I was looking across the field always has that bowl, that crown in the middle, so the water runs off. You can see it jumping.
Oh,
that's how loud the crowd was. That's how
loud
the crowd was.
The vibration.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I hit Brian Mitchell on third. I hit Brian Mitchell on third down and short and stopped him so he could get the first down.
Wow. I'll tell you, the link gets super, super loud, man. Like I was at I don't know if you ever been to a playoff game, George, but I was at the Falcons Eagles game of the divisional round the year we won a Super Bowl a few years back.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember you went there.
There was nothing like it. I'd never been in even
the loudest place I've been was when I played for the Saints, the reopening of the dome against Atlanta.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can imagine. I heard that place gets super loud.
Yeah, it gets super loud, especially now we won their first playoff game in history in 2006, because we ended up going to the NFC Championship game. You remember that because it was like a band of misfits that they put together, and they put a team together, and they created and pretty much started the foundation of a pretty good franchise.
Yeah.
Wow.
True. It's built on not telling players lies.
Exactly. Yeah, then the Saints won the Super Bowl. Was it 09, 2010? I forget.
Yeah.
I forget. Yeah, they won.
It was
They won.
09. Because I was with the Rams or the Panthers at that time.
Yeah, I think you had just left like right before, right? You went to Rams or Carolina.
Yeah, the Rams.
Yeah, the Rams first, then the Panthers. You retired with the Panthers, correct? The Panthers, the last team. Yeah, I remember because you told me that too at the club. Yeah. Okay.
But an Eagle at heart.
Yeah,
definitely Eagle at heart. I mean, you play most of the Eagles, man. So you're one of the guys.
Yeah, I bleed green, man. It was like I always even when I was gone, I was out still checking.
No doubt.
For sure. I was still checking on the Birds. I remember when the Phillies finally won the title. I was happy. I was watching it from my crib in New Orleans.
Nice.
Back in 08. Yeah, because you had left. Yep, when it beat the Phillies won this World Series. I remember that. And then of course, 08 to 2018. The 8 is a good year for Philly because 2008 we won the World Series, Super Bowl. But I mean, definitely it's good when the city wins. And even like when we had the Sixers, like towards a year ago, bro, 2 years ago. Remember that when Kawhi made the shot on Embiid? That was like a close one, almost like
I'm not gonna let you bring the Sixers into this until the process comes out of that bullshit. It's like we want to get past the second round, but you still not getting past the second round.
Yeah,
talk to me when you get past the second round. I was like, well, that's the conference finals. Yes.
Right.
Said, let's get, but
disappointing, but it happens.
Yeah, the Flyers have come closer than the Sixers. Flyers in 2010 nearly they got to the Cup. So I mean they come closer than the Sixers in recent years.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's why I have to tell some of my counterparts on my show.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the Sixers. I'm a dire Sixers fan, but they have a lot to prove, man. Last year was the year to do it to get out of the second round. I mean, come on, like.
True. Let's get to that because I'm sure it wants to hear about that. But last year was the year to do it. That's right. I mean, now we got to rebuild and get strong.
Yep.
Eagles and the Sixers, but let's focus on Eagles right now because this is Eagles talk. This is green, Green Nation or shit like that. So
Hollis, you were also undrafted in '96. Was that? I believe that was the year Dawkins was actually drafted as well.
He was drafted in the second round. He was drafted, and him and Jason Dunn was drafted in the second round.
So and then when you're undrafted, like we were talking before the podcast, but like you kind of get to choose where you go. What kind of made you
what made you
choose Philly? What made you choose Philadelphia?
Well, when I had a lot of the teams on the phone that was calling and stuff, but the Eagles called back with Ray Rose on the phone, and they called back with Emmett Thomas on the phone, with the defense coordinator. Then they called with the defensive line coach Mike Turkovic, and then the final two calls was one call was made by Jeffrey Lurie.
Okay.
And the owner, he called me and was saying how they, wanted to get me up there and this and that. And the final call was with the final call before I said I'll come was with Ray Rhodes. He left out of the room, and he just told me if I came up here and showed him what I showed him on my highlight reel, then I'll be assured to make the team. He's like I don't have no defensive tackles up here. He's like I don't think I have anyone of your caliber, a style. And he's like he just like you come up here. He's like, if you come up here, I guarantee you're gonna be a star. I was like, okay.
Beast mode, man. Yeah, this city, it appreciates anyone that has a hardworking mentality, man, puts in the work, just hard work. That's all this city looks for, man. Is someone who puts in the work and just works hard.
Yeah, they love a winning. You
look for people to not waste their talent.
Exactly.
To not just spitting guys' eye by not using your talent and maximizing it.
Exactly. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And like, let's be real. I mean, you had a long career, 15 years. I'm like, that's it. You don't just become. You don't just stay in the NFL for 15 years. Being a scrub. So
because my dad always said, if you want us to keep playing, you got to keep making plays. They can't say nothing to you if you keep making plays.
True.
Exactly.
Yep.
And that's the mentality. It's like you said, there's a lot of guys out there that just try to get the sacks. They try to pad their stats. And, you stat master. But here's the thing, you make plays. You'll have longevity.
Yeah. Make plays. You just make plays. The sacks will come, but if you make tackles in the backfield and stuff, and you make it hard for them to run, you crush the pocket. The sacks will come, especially if you got good defensive ends. So.
Defensive end is
exactly, man. Good point. I'm not sure to bring the Sixers back into it, man, but that's what I said. Like, hardworking will get you far. Obviously, like Ben Simmons, he's like the opposite, wasting his talent. Wasting his talent. That's a perfect example. Wasting his talent here, like unbelievably talented. I always said it. I'm like, I always said like Ben could probably be the best player in the NBA if he just learned how to shoot the ball. I'm like, dude's unbelievably talented, but just refuses to work hard. That's the problem.
Stubborn, but happens.
Very stubborn, yeah. So I'm like, but that's this city will appreciate anyone who puts in the grit and the effort, man. It just doesn't waste their talent. Works hard. It's just unbelievable, man.
Oh, my bad. My bad. McCollum on there kind of letting them run wild on them.
No, definitely not.
What's the score up there?
Philly,
this the first quarter.
Okay. Yeah, man. That's awesome, dude. It's you had a long career here, so you were here 10 years, and then were you with the Saints for 4?
For 3.
Then with the Rams, and then with 3. 05 to 08.
05 to 08, remember? And then Panthers. Rams first, then Panthers like a year.
Yeah, the Panthers, yeah.
Cool.
It's not bad. But Carolina's also a nice place to kind of play. I mean, obviously, when you're with the Eagles, it's like you're kind of up there in the forefront and haven't been a Super Bowl. But Carolina's kind of a decent team to play for as well. I don't know. Are the people there a little warmer than Philly? Are they like nicer there, or are they kind of brash? Because you're gonna be a little brash too.
Well, no, they were pretty cool. Everything was pretty cool. Like,
I
played with Julius Peppers.
Oh yeah,
he was still there. That was my boy. And then it was real cool. It was a nice setup and stuff. It was they treated you like gold because they hadn't had a team before. Hadn't had a team in a long time. They just treated us good.
Right, and then you're a star already at this point because now you're playing with Carolina. You're already a veteran, a Super Bowl, the guy that's won Super Bowl. So they're like, we could definitely use guys like that. To be fair, Carolina could have built even more of a team even before during those years, and then slowly in the next decade, which was 2010, around the time you stopped playing, that's when they slowly went up there.
Yeah,
Cam Newton, everybody else, and some people that came out there.
Cam had a chance in 2016, and it was just like
he's another one that did really well.
He's back there now. He's letting everybody know he's back.
I saw the video. He's like screaming, "I'm back! I'm back!"
I was like, he looked like Diana Ross song, "I'm Coming Out." I want the world to know. Like just like what the. Like, dude, what are you talking about?
Yeah, he looked kind of stupid too. The way because before the game, apparently they had said something about him being back there, and he's like, "Nah, it's all about business. Like, I'm not here to make like a big statement." And then he gets his first touchdown. He's screaming, "I'm back!" So it's like he contradicted himself.
Yeah, because it's kind of like I don't know. Sometimes some people can't get out of their own damn way.
True.
There's Hollis, I think you probably know about this. There's actually a whole book. Tyrese, the singer, reactor. He wrote a book called, I believe it's called "How to Get Out Your Own Way." So I mean, it's like a whole technique and science how to get in your way. You have to ruin your opportunities. Yo, your word, like you said, like Hollis was saying, like Tank just said, if you're Super Bowl, even fans kill me, especially Eagles fans. 2 fucking wins, we're going to the Super Bowl. Yo, relax, guys. Don't set the bar so high. And yo, it's a lot of like. It's like I don't want to use the word like negative energy, but it kind of is like you're projecting like so much, and then we get this jinx material. Now we're getting jinxed. Now we're losing.
I don't call it jinx material, but I call it you set yourself up for the big letdown. It's kind of like when you're dating a hot chick, and on the first date you expected to score.
You expect a lot,
and you set yourself up, and then she's like, you get to the door, and she shakes your hand, and it's like, thanks for the date. Like, there we
go.
If you keep the boy low, have a good time, enjoy the ride. Then at the end of the night, she's like, you wanna come in for a soda? I don't really drink soda, but I come in. And then next thing you know, you win it. I'm just saying.
Yes, sir. I could dig it.
Exactly. Don't set the bar so high. Don't get your expectations.
Don't set the bar so high. Yeah. Just have a good time along the ride.
For all the guys that watch our dating content,
if you see press, it's gonna show.
Exactly. And that's like we said. Exactly, and that's what we said. Like with this year's team, you can't come into this year with any expectations. I mean, come on, it's like the whole team. It hurts as the new quarterback. It's just like expectations. And hey,
but the thing about this is like what we're seeing now. We're seeing them develop, and we're watching them grow. Now, once they develop and they grow and they get their own identity, and we see what they're capable of, then that's when we set the bar up that high. Like once that second or third year, when I was playing with the Birds and we was in the early 2000s, we was going to playoffs every year. Y'all expected us to go to the playoffs. It was expected because y'all knew what we were capable of, and that's what it's supposed to be. These young guys that we got now, we're trying to build them into winners. And once we build the winner, then we can start doing it, set the expectation and set the bar high.
The bar high.
So that's pretty much how I feel. It's kind of like if I've already knocked her off before, the bar is already set high, then I'm going to score again. See?
Exactly.
But if it's the first date, I don't have any expectations because I don't know where we're going.
We're going with exactly. I don't know where we're going with this.
Exactly.
Your analogies are great, bro. Good dating analogies because a lot of guys that watch dating content like the
great analogy.
The analogy, they like the analogies, and we actually do some dating content as well every now and then here, like the Fresh to Fit podcast, Kevin Samuels, Alpha Male Strategies. They talk about all this stuff, but you could actually probably be a dating coach too, man. You say some really good analogies and some good, but true stories. Good press, real talk, Steve. You spoke about this. Even me and Thomas spoke about this. If you see press, any chick will see it. Okay, you seem too thirsty. What are you doing, huh? She look at you, she'll call you back. If you're yourself, she'll be intrigued.
Right, exactly. Yeah. It's like, but you're supposed to initially seem interested. If they don't get back to you, that means they weren't interested. And then when you see them again out in public, they be like, I can be a guy. Good idea, call you. I left you a message and I text you. So I was like, oh, so now you want to holler at me now because you're thirsty, and I mean because you want to drink. Nah, I'm good. Nah, I'm good. So I just move on.
Exactly, bro.
Because I'm not no sweat off my side.
That's a good point.
Yeah, guys, like they always try to say he's thirsty or try to be. It's the dating game is kind of weird because I don't take anything personal. So
exactly, that's the way you got to approach it.
Yeah, if you want to fuck with me, cool. If you don't, still cool.
Still fine.
Exactly.
Still jiggy with it. Still the man. Yep. Yo, where's that applause button? Play that applause button real quick, bro. Come on, Steve. You got the sound bites. That was just applause worthy. Come on, applause real quick. Come on. Order.
And then
that's it. We got a little bond. We got some sound bites and shit. Make it the show look cool. Definitely, man. Very good analogy, bro. And definitely very good. Also, speaking of that, obviously, you know where I work at. So the dating thing, you can see it there. And you can see it nowhere else. You can't see it there. And guys, they get played easily because they're too weird, too thirsty. Last night, you left early last night. We had a guy. We got him a cab.
Mm-hmm.
No. He called the Uber. He's saying Bob. He's a Chinese guy in Uber. I'm like, how you doing, sir? Can we help you? He's like, yeah, there's a guy here. I was like, they're looking for one of the dancers or a guy, maybe a customer client. He says the Bob guy. I'm saying Bob is this guy. He's like this. I'm okay. Are you Bob? I'm okay. Okay, I guess, whatever. I'm going once, going twice. So the Asian guy, the driver, we talk for a few seconds. He goes in the car. He's like, I wait a few seconds. No coming out. I go. I go, okay. So he goes in, he leaves. Then Bob comes to the door, and me and Don, the one of security's there, we're wondering. Bob, there was Bob, and he let his ride go because he was just too drunk, and his friends left him. It took us about 20 minutes to figure out the Uber thing. Call him a cab. Finally got him home. Only because Don and some security guys were being nice, kind-hearted gentlemen, and we got him in the cab because he was fucked up. He didn't know where he was. I kept saying, Bob, is your ride? He said, I'm okay. I didn't ask if you're okay. Where's your ride? So
Bob got that. He ain't gonna be in there tonight, then.
Nah, man, he don't come because he didn't know what's going on. He forgot everything. Girls, they will call somebody a cab and they'll forget the cabs and they'll get stuck there walking around. Then they're out in the cold. They're a target. Our guys are kicking them out. It gets funny there, Hollis will tell you, but we try to keep it cool and smooth,
Exactly.
So, yeah,
that's the whole thing, man.
Well, fellas, it is dinner time.
Yeah, I hear that.
I'm sitting there. I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna probably make me something to eat right quick.
Cool.
See, and finish watching this game. But I appreciate you guys for having me on.
Absolutely, man. It was absolutely a pleasure to have you on.
Pleasure, man. Great episode. We'd love to have you again.
Enjoy chopping it up with y'all.
Definitely, man. It was a pleasure.
All right.
We would love to come to your show sometime and have you again, man. Before you leave, promote your show a little bit, like the Green Legion show on your Instagram for those who might not know.
It's called Green Legion Radio. It's on 102.5 FM Fox Sports The Gambler. If you go to the iHeart Radio app, you can get and go to Fox Sports The Gambler, download Fox Sports The Gambler, and like and subscribe to Green Legion Radio. You can also get my podcast, which is Get Tech Happy Hour, and then it's another podcast too. We have Ice and Shorts, Winter or Summer Sports, and we have a baseball brunch with with Murph as well. You have to search for that separately. But you can also go on greenlegion.com to do any tailgate or travel arrangement to anything Eagles.
Definitely.
Awesome,
Some
man.
people do that. I think sometimes the
Anything
tailgate
Eagles. We tailgated at Xfinity Live. So he's like, I just came back from Denver. We were in Denver. We had like 500 Rabbit Eagles fans.
Nice.
Nice. Oh yeah, he told me. I told you he was in Denver. That's good stuff, man.
And if you want to search for me on Instagram at KEWLMF, stands for cool motherfucker. And on Twitter at DARealTank78.
There you go. Hollis is always posting funny and positive content, guys. So if you guys want to laugh, definitely
check it out. Very sarcastic, very funny, very true, very honest in modern society. It's almost like he's a comedian of sorts and he puts some funny Dave Chappelle memes, but they're so accurate. Other memes are amazing. I personally post some of them on stories. You do too, Steve. So check Hollis's Instagram. And I believe you already follow him. I don't know if I follow you. I'm going to follow you. You can definitely check us out.
I think I followed you back. I don't know if I was Steve back.
Okay, follow me back. I'll let you know because I put some funny content as well every now and then. And we'll probably put something for the show. We'll put some snippets of the show. Real quick before I let you go, two things. Just a quick question for you. Why did you stop playing football, by the way? Were you like before high school?
I didn't play organized to high school, but I played a lot as a kid. Loved Sandlot. You know, we had the street team.
Sandlot, like a movie,
And then I was playing with my uncles. We played in the middle of the street, like on concrete, tackle on concrete. And then I got to high school, and I ended up starting to play organized in high school.
Oh, that's what's awesome. Yeah. Figured it's about 14 years high. Okay, great. Makes sense. Yeah, like we said, guys, we had this has been a great show. We're probably gonna wrap it up real soon. Our guy here has got to go soon. Thanks for those watching. Also, I do want to say a small thing. Unfortunately, I don't know if you heard, Steve. We lost the rapper Young Dolph was killed in Memphis. Yeah. Young Dolph. That's such a shame. Great rapper.
He was killed at a creamery.
It's funny because it's a place. Basically, they knew where he was going because they seen him there online and they set him up and they were trying to attempt a robbery. He seems like I don't think it was any kind of beef, although it could have been. But some kind of like in Memphis, his own neighborhood, well, in his own city, in his own hood, basically. Very shame, big shame. It's a big story because he's actually one of my favorite younger guys, and I believe he's about 35, so he wasn't as young. But he was still 36, yeah. So rest in peace, Young Dolph, because some of his songs have carried me some hard times, and I still got him in my playlist. I'm sure they play him in a club tonight, so it's major. That's my shit. So yeah, rest in peace, dog. Sorry to hear about that.
Rest in peace.
God bless.
All right,
for sure. But it's been a great presentation, guys. Hollis, we appreciate you, brother. Love you, man. Amazing stuff. We'll see you soon.
Okay, see you soon, fellas. See you later.
Awesome. Thank you, Hollis. Appreciate you, man.
All right, bye.
Take care, bro.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys.
Stay a little longer, guys. Steve, stay a few more minutes, I guess.
Yeah. I'll stay a little longer. So that wrapped up our interview, little talk show with Hollis. It was our first professional sports player we had on the podcast. Yeah. But Hollis, as you guys can see, real cool. We'll probably have him back eventually as well. Back on the podcast, talk some Eagles and stuff. Maybe, hey, who knows? We go to the playoffs this year. Go to the Super. I'm not gonna say Super Bowl or anything like that.
Playoffs. Let's think about playoffs first.
Yeah, maybe we'll have him back on. Maybe we can do like a live podcast. Maybe even from your club, man. Maybe we could do that would be sick.
That'd be sick, but you gotta go somewhere. You gotta go somewhere where you can't really. There's no noise, because there's so much noise in there. It's the only thing.
Just get a mic and then get the headphones with a mic on it. Then it'll cancel out the noise. So
that'll be dope, bro. Only thing is, if I'm not working there, I'm not allowed. Tonight I'm gonna go because obviously somebody had found my phone. One of the girls that works there, my phone was found. Then they put it on lost and found. So I'll go in and out. But he said he might then go later, and I would hang out with him there. You can hang out with him actually. I can't because I work there. I would go hang out with him only for the fact that I can't hang out if I'm not working at the club. So that's the only thing. But he's always there, man. I mean, he's medical with Cozy. Now he followed you back. He's I follow him as well. He can follow me back. So like I said, man, one more supporter and a hello supporter, a great guy like Hollis Thomas, somebody that we looked up to that told us a lot of insights. Great, topic. We covered the old team of the Eagles from back in the day. Some of the Eagles of us growing up, because he played 96 to 2006 basically. So that's 10 years. That's basically in 96. You probably wouldn't watch football like that because you're really young. You're about 4. I wasn't really watching as much. We started watching around that time, a little after. So we grew up watching that team. It's safe to say, and it was great to have somebody from the era here. It's like this is like a milestone in history for us, which is why we promoted the hell out of this episode, and it looked good. It came out great. So
exactly. I see we had a lot of comments tonight too, guys. So thank you as always for the feedback. So interesting to get miles the ball. Seen a comment, Brady's a bitch.
Yeah, Brady. That's the only one I didn't put on the screen. I just didn't want to, But we all know, people that cheat in the past. He stayed there, so we know. We just spoke about it. But I put all the comments up there. Mike,
what's up, Mike? What's up, Mike? Thanks for watching, man.
And somebody say, "Yo, what's up?" I'm not sure what that is.
But... yeah, we got some good comments here. And somebody said prima donnas, which they were talking about. I'm assuming McNabb
and McNabb not getting along, and he explained that. Fuck them both for that, but at the same time, we like them. But it's just a shame that they went down like that. But I mean,
yeah, if the Eagles go to the playoffs, man, we can get a live stream from down there with James too. James in the building and Hollis. That'd be sick,
bring more than one person, possibly. Oh yeah, I didn't actually. I was gonna mention Hollis was here, but I'll tell him in person. Guess who I met though? Freddie Mitchell. That's who I met recently. Freddie Mitchell.
Oh yeah, he played with Hollis. He was on the offensive side though. He's a receiver, wide receiver.
Yeah. He tipped me, bro. He tipped me some, little cash out there the other night. Like he was cool, trying to get his IG a little bit. Real cool dude. He's like, yeah, I've just played for Eagles. Remember me? I was like, yes, I remember you. I was like, Freddie. I was like, Freddie, right? He's like, yeah. All right. We spoke a little.
Yeah, he played with James Thrash. Yep.
Yeah, he played. Yeah, he was more of the offense. Yeah, he wasn't a defensive.
He was a receiver.
Because obviously, Hollis was, defensive, tackle, defensive guys, defense, big dudes like that. But
Freddie Mitchell's always known for the 4th and 26, which is like the Eagles in the playoff game, they were wrapped up. I believe it was against Green Bay. And
the last time they played him 2 years ago?
It was back in like the early 2000s, and it was like 4th down and 26 to go. So pretty much the game was about to be over. I remember McNabb threw a deep ball and Freddie Mitchell caught it, and Eagles got a first down. Like it was like a last resort. He threw it up and Freddie Mitchell caught it. So he's known for like the 4th and 20. I believe it's 4th and 26. He's known for it. And Hollis could have definitely told you about that if he was here and if he was still on.
Yeah. I kind of forgot to mention because we talked so much with stuff, and I want to let kind of Hollis finish talking mostly, that. But yeah, real quick, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, since we're at this, let's kind of fuck around a little, talk about our favorite moments and all that. Eagles, let's name some of the quarterbacks. So who was it? Was it all right? The last 5 quarterbacks. I'm gonna start with McNabb, the main ones, of course. Then after McNabb, wasn't that Vic, right? Vic came right after or a little afterwards?
It was Vic
too. Yeah. So after Vic, then I'll say Wentz.
Foles was a quarterback
Foles first.
Yeah. Foles was here before he came back as a backup. Yeah, so Foles was here. We also had Kevin Cobb at one point.
Cobb, that's who. Cobb was okay. Cobb. He was in the Chip Kelly era.
Yeah. Remember Jeff Garcia came in for McNabb in that playoff run the one year. Remember that when McNabb got hurt? Garcia.
I remember that very well, dude. Whatever happened to him? Because he was a second quarterback. He never really
he was older when he was our backup. So he had started. I believe he started in San Francisco. Then he came here. I'm not sure about his entire resume, but he was a backup.
I'm talking about 07, because in 09, McNabb left like 08, I believe, or 09. What?
Yeah, I believe McNabb got hurt. What was it? 06. He got hurt after the Madden curse. Remember that? Remember he was on the cover of Madden 06, and then he got hurt.
Yeah, it says a curse. Yeah, I remember
that. And McNabb got hurt, dude. And that was
Garcia really well. That was my senior in high school, and then probably like my first year out of high school, like the first school year after high school. So yeah, McNabb must have left in like I want to say like 07, 08, because I think if I'm not mistaken, around 08 or 09, that's when Vic came around in 09. So maybe you got Vic in the summer of 09.
I personally love Michael Vick.
Yeah, he was a good quarterback.
Obviously, he had the issue with the dog fighting, which was sad. I mean, Vic said he wasn't there when it happened, but I'm like, dude, you still know people are using their house. It was a shame, but he went to jail. I really do think with all the charities and stuff, he did right his wrongs. He was able to come here and play. Now, that's a touchy subject. Some people
it is because the animal people. But here's the thing:
if you're a dog lover, it's touchy, man. I'm a dog lover myself, but
we're all dog lovers. But I mean, it's kind of like his part. I mean, we're not happy with what he did. He served his time. As long as he didn't actually personally kill dogs and make them, it's like he let his homies do it, but he was really indifferent. But still, you're accomplished.
Yeah, they were using one of Vic's houses like to do it. Vic had multiple houses because he was rich. He got big contracts early. Like Vic was very talented. Obviously, he's arguably the best. He probably is the best running quarterback of all time. Like Michael Vick, just in terms of speed, like there was no quarterback as fast as Vic. Hurts ain't as fast as him. Like you see, we got Jalen Hurts now. Vic is ridiculous, man. Like in terms of running quarterbacks, rushing quarter, he's got to be the greatest rushing quarterback of all time. So Michael Vick was obviously talented. I actually have Michael Vick's Falcons jersey from when I was a kid in my closet.
I remember seeing it live. I was showing with them in your room. Yeah, I remember that, John. Sorry. So we have So McNabb. It's kind of going in a small little order. McNabb. What the fuck was that? McNabb. Okay, Vic. We can say. I guess Garcia was more like a backup. Vic 3, Cobb, and then when because Cobb was kind of like a starter for a little bit. I remember the Cobb era. He was, I mean, he tried, but we just never really got nowhere when we had him. As far as
no. You're also forgetting. Remember Foles, and then remember it was Sam Bradford. Remember Chip Kelly?
Oh yeah, Foles. That's right. 3 would be Foles.
Sam Bradford. Sam Bradford.
Oh yeah, Sam Bradford. I forgot
remember
about
under
him.
Chip Kelly. Remember under Chip Kelly we had
under
Sam
Chip
Bradford.
Kelly. Yeah. Chip Kelly was what, bro? Was he 2014 to 20? No. Wait, time out. Chip Kelly might have been 2012 to about 2017. No, 2016, right?
Andy Reid's last year, I believe was. Yeah. I think Andy Reid's last year was 2012. Let me see.
Chip Kelly had to have been 2012 to 2015 or either 3 or 4 years. So 2016, so about 4 years, and then because 2017, 2018 is the year we won it. That was the season, 2017 season. So if Doug Peters was already there,
yeah. Kelly was hired on January 16, 2013. Yeah, so Andy Reid's final year with the Eagles was 2012. It was the year they went 4-12. Remember, they just didn't play for Andy. They only won 4 games, and they went.
Oh yeah, 2012, 2013. Right.
Yeah, that was Andy Reid's worst. It was his worst year here.
We didn't do well. I don't think. Did we make the playoffs? Not even the playoffs that year, right?
No, you're 4-12. No team at 4-12.
No, yeah, 4-12. We're not making
unless your division is really that garbage.
Right.
Is rare. I've never seen that happen.
Kelly, 2013 was Chip Kelly. Yeah, you're right. I think you're absolutely right. But Chip Kelly must have left late 2016, like that fall, going to like 2017, or a year before that even. Like 2015, 2016. Because
Chip Kelly's time here was short. Like everybody was always like, anybody who's an Eagles fan is watching. Is it? Everybody was kind of enamored with Chip Kelly at first, or because he had like the flashiness, the quick offense. But once Chip Kelly got figured out, like it was over. His career just was over because he didn't really have a huge playbook. Every coach when they first come in, nobody has tape on them or anything. But I'll tell you right now, like Chip Kelly got figured out, and it was the thing about Chip Kelly also is just. I don't know. He was stubborn as well. Remember, they gave him the keys to the kingdom. So he was not only the head coach, but Jeffrey Lurie also gave him the keys to the castle. Which what I mean by that is he was also the GM. You know how Howie Roseman's our GM right now? He's the guy who makes the decisions in the draft. Well, Chip Kelly was not just the head coach; he was also the general manager. They gave him way too much power.
Too soon. Yep, too much power too soon.
They gave him the keys to the kingdom right away, and I'm like, that was a mistake.
That was a mistake. I think we rushed it a little bit, but
he was overhyped, dude. He was having.
People had a lot of hopes, right? But people said F Chip Kelly Chip Kelly once we got to the Super Bowl. Well, I mean, with Doug, it's like it was from the beginning. It was almost like it was meant to be. Almost, they say like love at first sight. It was almost like how can I say it? Understanding and chemistry at first sight. He was doing well with the team. He already had better plan, better ideas, and that's what ultimately helped us. And we got. And if I'm not mistaken, Peters, I believe Doug, it was the second year that we won the Super Bowl with him as a coach, not the first year, right? It wasn't his first year winning the Super Bowl; it was the second year.
It was the second year, yeah. The first year we were okay. We were like what? I think we were 7-9, or 8-8.
It's not a bad record, honestly.
It's okay. It's like 500. It's midway, but like it's not enough to make the playoffs. I mean, I've seen teams at 6-10 make the playoffs, but it's rare. Your division has to be absolute trash.
You got to have like the division got to be a little weak that year, or just kind of like
the Seahawks made it. The Seahawks made it at one point at 6-10 because their division was just such garbage.
If you're more like 12-4, 12-3, you're good. That's a much better record. More losses than wins, it doesn't help. But sometimes you can't make the playoffs.
Exactly.
Good one. Man, I was just reminiscing a little bit, throw some facts there, because I know we talked about a lot about these and Hollis got into depth and detail, but it's kind of like when I refresh the memory a little bit, some good old times. Because I remember all those years, man. I remember seeing him too in the field, like Hollis. I remember hearing his name and everything. But when I seen him, it'd been years, so I couldn't recognize him, but he looked familiar. I was like, no wonder he looked familiar. I said, and that's how I met him. Well, when I met him in the club, I met him in July. So yeah, he'd come all the time. I remember. I was going to search him one time. I was like, no, you're good, because he always come, and I seen him be really popular. I was like, he looks familiar too. I was like, let him go through. He was one of those guys that comes in all the time, and no one really searches them, because you got to know the regulars there, and obviously the club is cool with them. So and then again, more than one player. And Freddie Mitchell comes, other players have been there before in the past. I mean, that spot's been there forever. Delaw's been there for a very long time. So even T.O.'s been there before. You know what I mean? Like, they all been there. Sixers
exactly.
There, Mick Mill's been there.
Hollis the Tank Thomas, man.
Hollis the Tank Thomas,
who was an OG, and I think a lot of people tend to forget. I didn't really get to talk to Hollis about this, but a lot of people always talk about Brian Dawkins in the secondary, right, and how good they were. Well, they were very good, but it all starts out front. if Hollis and the D line don't do their job correctly, well, the guys in the secondary are going to struggle to do their job. Getting to the quarterback, making plays. So don't forget that, guys. Hollis was no scrub, man. He was a beast. He was a big boy, man, but he was a beast. He's a beast, man, and yeah, he had some great plays. I think a lot of people, like I said, like we said in the podcast,
definitely good moments. I watched his career a little bit. I did some research before him.
Our division is trash.
Our division is trash. That's hilarious.
This year, Dallas is actually good, but a lot of years. Dallas is actually good this year. I don't know how far they're going to get in the playoffs because
the Cowboys are good this year. I'm not going to lie because they beat us, not because they beat us, but they look like they're better than last year. Like they're playing a little better with each other. They're understanding. Hollis is something very important. He said that we'll expect them in a few years because they're still building up. Remember, bro, with Hurts and all that, and Ertz and all. Ertz and it's a little different. Miles. Like if you get everybody together, bro, and kind of like the quarterback will improve. I feel like this year's not gonna be that year, and it's fine. Let's just see. Let's look at the playoffs. Everybody chance we can make it and go farther. Let's see. Let's kind of ride this. Like Hollis said, till the wheels fall off. Next year it'll be a different story. 2022, 2023 will be a different year. I'm just saying, bro. I know it's a whole year to go, but we'll just kind of hustle up and see what we can do and just keep pressing it. We got to just keep doing our thing, keep trying. Clearly, we had a lot of big losses. He's the first year with the newer quarterback because Wentz bounced last year. He left last season at the end of the season. So, but
exactly.
Like I said, it's an enjoyable season. Even Pank, played it for real. Sometimes says, sometimes I watch it later in the game because they're getting better. He said, I do like what they're looking like now. The first games are a little hard. Sometimes we start playing like trash in the beginning, but we do better in the third and fourth quarter. But that's a lot of teams, by the way, because I watch a lot of games at the job, bro. From the Raiders to the Ravens to San Fran, a lot of teams start slow. It's normal in NFL. It can happen, bro. It's not always. You're not guaranteed. He said the game has changed a little bit. He said it. He said some good things. If you notice, I'm gonna go rewatch this episode in a few days, probably or tomorrow. But Hollis was dropping a lot of knowledge, bro. Even like before we got into like some of the insights of like teams and like how they played before the whole Super Bowl fiasco of 05, which we know what happened. But.
Yeah, he knows our division. He knows the team more than we would. He worked. He was internal. He was internal. He was
the locker room. He's still kind of connected to them. He still got those plugs.
Yeah,
he knows. I didn't ask him too much. Like, you still keep contact with him. I've asked him more in person, like at the club. Although it's hard to get talk to because it's so loud. But we spoke a little bit there, and he told me still he still gets he gets down and gets around. Obviously watches. He goes to every game, supports. That guy doesn't need no tickets. He's a former Eagle who went to the Super Bowl. He's still an Eagle. You're always at heart.
Former defensive tackle, undrafted, man.
Undrafted. One of the best in the Eagles.
And like Hollis said, guys, you have to come in more polished when you're undrafted because you're not going to be able to get away with this. More. Yeah, you're not going to be able to get away with the stuff that the person who was drafted is going to be able to get away with, especially if they're like a first or second round pick. There's going to be a lot more that'll get let slide because of them. They're not going to just get rid of that player. Whereas like when you're undrafted, man, you really have a lot to prove. You got to come in polished. And I know Hollis talked about that, and it's a big point, guys. But I'm seeing all the comments, guys. Appreciate the support. I've been getting some DMs and also just seeing the comments on YouTube and Facebook. Appreciate the support. And guys, if you're watching this like after the fact, I know a lot of people I had reached out to personally said they were going to be either busy during the thing, they were going to watch later. Comment down below. We want to hear the comments, see the comments. We'll get back to all the comments if we can after the show, but we'll get back to them all. But just ultimately, hey guys, appreciate the support. One of my boys is calling right now. I'll call him back after the show.
Bro. So basically, guys, again, we're gonna wrap it up soon. Definitely got more news for you guys coming. As you can see, we brought you guys some great episodes. We've been having a pretty good run with October and November, even though obviously you weren't here in October, Steve, but kind of like we missed the one episode, but after that, kind of everything went well. So it's like knock on wood, like you said. See, he just kind of put me onto some stuff, man. Like Hollis, real talk. Like don't set the bar super high, and you want to get disappointed, and you can kind of build from there. So whenever you got another episode for you guys coming up next week. My plans have changed. I'll be going to Cali sometime in January for my next trip to Cali. So I'm not going to be going in November because I would have been going in 2 days. So actually, my ticket was actually for the 19th, but it got pushed back. So I still pay my ticket. I'm still good to go. We'll fill you in on that. Of course, me and you, Steve, talking about possibly planning a trip, Vegas, maybe even Miami, out of the country. Now that I'm fully vaccinated, almost. So that's also something we can talk about. And yeah, we have another episode. Next week's episode is not necessarily quite ready, but it's already getting set up and worked on. And one after that. So I also have some more ideas, guys. Keep watching for some updates. Check out our pages. the Locked In Podcast. There's 2 pages. One's got like a little star asterisk next to it. I believe it means it's a public page. One is private, but either or. I mean, if you invite, you invite, and you can always join the page. If it's private, you can also join it, but just by clicking it. If it's not, you just click it and we approve you.
Exactly. And guys, if you want to always see like our other platforms, if you actually look in the bottom of our thing, you'll see that there's a link tree to all of our platforms. I actually put it right in the description. So if you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, there's a link. You can catch all of our platforms on there. You can catch our Instagram, our Twitter account, our personal website, where you can see past episodes. There's a Locked In Podcast store for clothing and merchandise. A lot of cool stuff, guys. But all of our platforms is listed in that link in the link tree. You can also take you to Spotify as well. We're on Anchor. Just search up the Locked In Podcast. You'll be able to find us on Spotify or Anchor. And, you can always download any of our episodes as well right from Spotify and Anchor as well. So if you want to give this a listen, if you're in the car or something, you can always listen to us if you can't watch. But, we always just appreciate the support, as always, guys, and appreciate the comments. There was a lot of viewers tonight. I've seen the most viewers I've ever seen on our room. I can always see how many people are viewing from all different platforms at once. We had our most viewers I had ever seen at once on this tonight's episode. So, guys, growing slowly and having solid guests like Hollis on here. We're just going to keep bringing you guys great content and collabing with as many people as we can. And, guys, as you saw with Hollis right there, he also does a podcast. He does a few podcasts. He has his own show. Green Legion Radio, I believe, goes live tomorrow. It's a Thursday show. George, I think you can confirm that. Is that Green Legion Radio? He goes live on Thursdays, right?
It's Thursdays, which is why we did it today, because it's usually around tomorrow. So tomorrow, like around like 6 to like 8. So I mean, or I think it's like 6, 7:30, something like that. But it's I can check because he also has a lot of links on his page. Hollis posts a lot of funny content, good content as well. Definitely check it out.
Yeah, you guys can find all the links to his stuff. Believe it's all on his Instagram, which, like he said, it was cool motherfucker. Ultimately, what it is it's KEWLMF. You can also see in our promotions, you'll see that we tagged his Instagram. He has his link to, I think, all of his podcasts and his shows on there. At Green Legion Radio, guys, like I said, it's like every Thursday you'll be able to catch him and find him. iHeartRadio app, Fox Sports, The Gambler. You can find Hollis Thomas. And Hollis always has a lot of insights. He's very knowledgeable. I've listened to Green Legion Radio a few times, watched it. And they post some of their episodes on YouTube as well. So I'll be able to find them on there as well. But,
yeah,
guys, it's glad to be here tonight.
We'll make it work. But no problem. So also one more thing, guys. Also check us out, on IG and on Facebook. And remember, just like, subscribe, comment, and hit the bell for some of the Locked In Podcast on your page, right, Steve? So it'll be Steven Ushler on YouTube.
Yep, and guys, like George said, it's Steven Ushler on YouTube. And ultimately, all you got to do is you hit that subscribe button, turn notifications on, because we release content every week. So
thank you guys, no doubt.
Turn that bell.
Hit the bell and check us out. So this has been episode 57. It's been a production of the Locked In Podcast. Great stuff, guys. We had our buddy Hollis Thomas, on deck. And more than likely we'll have him again, and we'll have some other guys, possibly Freddie Mitchell now, some other Eagles players. We'll see how everything goes. But we'll keep you guys in tune, and we'll keep you guys, sort of like locked in on the Locked In Podcast. Locked In Podcast, no pun intended, but yeah. And we'll make everything kind of work out. Definitely check out some content between, in the 1 week span, and then next Thursday we'll be back for episode 58. We'll set something up, and we'll do some promo beforehand between Monday and Wednesday night. Between Monday night and Wednesday night, usually when we kind of do some promo, and we'll make it work. Of course, if you're wondering why, because Hollis Thomas does a show, the Green Legion Podcast, which is why we did it today, and he flies a lot because he watches the Eagles. That's why we kind of we switched around a little bit.
That's why we couldn't go live at our standard time, which is 6:30 Thursday, which we always try to cater to our guests. So, like, depending on what the schedules are, Thursday is our standard time that we will go live. If our guests can do it too, cool. If not, we usually try to flex. So
Wednesday like sometimes or Friday, day after or before, because we don't no point of doing Tuesday. So if it's not a Thursday, more than likely it could be a Wednesday or sometimes a Friday. But Fridays are they're kind of 50-50. People watch on Fridays because they've got nothing to do. Maybe they want to watch and it's exciting on Friday night. But they also go out, so
It's like George said, we're going to have a great episode in the works for next week. Just this week was good, but next week we're going to keep the ball rolling. It's going to be another great episode, great content, a little bit of a different topic, different realm, but nonetheless, it's going to be great. And like George said, you can expect the promotion to come out maybe sometime between Monday and Wednesday, maybe even Sunday, but primarily Monday through Wednesday. So you can check on Instagram and Facebook. We'll have the promos coming out soon, but Yeah, it's like George said, it's been a production of the Locked In Podcast. Another special thank you. Much gratitude and Godspeed to our great friend Hollis the Tank Thomas, former defensive tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles, Saints, Rams, and Carolina Panthers. So, guys, I think without further ado, reading all the comments, and we'll answer after we get on the show. But I think we can wrap it up here. About an hour and 35 minutes. I think we can wrap it up here.
I think it's perfect. 134, yeah, but we 135. Yeah, we can wrap it up around here. Anything else you want to say, bro? I mean, there's no shout outs because last week we didn't have no real guest. I mean, usually we do some shout out here and there or some, we kind of like we'll do some mentions to our boys, but I think we've covered just about everything. Everything's kind of like good to go. So yeah, man, it's been real, bro. I had a great time. I hope you did too, bro. We delivered. We made it work. We worked hard and diligently see when things are done on time, the right way, everything goes well. Sometimes there is small things that block everything. It could be the person on the end, could be connection, it could be a lot of bullshit, but good thing we didn't cut none of that today, and today was actually really smooth. So
exactly, it's a smooth episode. So
no problem. Hey Steve, real quick, after we once you hang up you get out of the broadcast, stick around for like a minute behind the scenes. I want to talk to you about something, but after we actually get out live. So
sounds good. Well, without further ado, guys, have a great night, great weekend. I know it's already time. It feels weird doing it on Wednesday because we still have half the week, but enjoy the rest of your week. Crush your goals, guys. Appreciate time, appreciate life. Be true and be you. Crush your goals, guys. And then going into the weekend, have a great blessed weekend. Have a great night. Stay safe. We'll talk to you again next week.
All right, guys, next week. Have a great one. Enjoy your week. Bye-bye.